Hi everyone! This video presents the mechanics of creating a questionnaire for your research. I will walk you through the steps and will present an example that illustrates those steps from conceptualization to design until the actual construction of a questionnaire. So join me and learn how to make your own research questionnaire. A questionnaire is a list of questions that aims to get data from a particular group of people. It may be administered in various ways. It could be online, by telephone or face-to-face interview, or through a paper-based mode distributed either in person or by mail. Let us see the steps in creating a research questionnaire. Step 1. Review your research questions. Identify the constructs that will be measured. Example, the research question is, what are the practices of parents in preventing injury to their toddlers? The construct that needs to be measured is practices of parents in preventing injury to their toddlers. Why is it important to know this? Because, obviously, this is going to be the topic or the content of the questionnaire. Step 2. Identify your target respondents. In this research, the target respondents are the parents with toddlers. Why is it important to know this? Because you have to fit your questionnaire to your respondents. Step 3. Plan the content of your questionnaire. To plan your questionnaire, first you have to define and establish content domains for the construct. Break down the construct into main areas that the questionnaire should cover. These are called the content domains. For instance, the construct is practices of parents preventing injury to toddlers. So what are the domains under this? Burn prevention, poisoning prevention, suffocation prevention, aspiration and choking prevention, drowning prevention, animal bite prevention, fall prevention, and car or vehicle safety, which are the parts actually of the construct. Next, create a blueprint. So the construct is a broad umbrella. Under this is the content domain, and under the content domain will be the more specific areas. For example, we have identified several domains. Let's take one, poisoning prevention. The specific areas under poisoning prevention will be giving meds, taking meds, where to put meds, where to put poisons, where to put plants, storing substances, and toys. Now it's time to develop your questionnaire. Develop items aligned with the blueprint. The blueprint item is giving meds. The corresponding questionnaire item is I never present medicines as candy. Blueprint item is taking meds. The questionnaire item is I never take medicines in front of my toddler. Blueprint item is where to put meds. The questionnaire item is I keep medicines out of my toddler's reach. And the blueprint item is where to put poisons. The questionnaire item is I keep poisons out of my toddler's reach. For the blueprint item where to put plants, the questionnaire item is I keep plants out of my toddler's reach. For storing substances, the questionnaire item is I store substances in their original containers. And for toys, the questionnaire item is I inspect my toddler's toys to be sure that they are lead-free. Aside from developing questionnaire items, there are other considerations in making a questionnaire, like give clear instructions. For instance, when giving multiple choice items, don't just instruct, choose the best answer. Instead, use this. Encircle the letter of the best answer or write the letter of the best answer on the blanks provided. These last two instructions are more specific. Therefore, they are clearer. Give enough details about the data that you want the respondent to supply. Example, when you ask for income, you have to be specific. If you simply put income, the respondent would not know whether you're after daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly income. Or are you just after regular income or the total income? So use this instead. Usual monthly income and then a blank line. Then aside from your usual monthly income, how much do you earn per year from other sources such as bonuses, 13th or 14th month pay, etc. Use the language of the respondents. Doing this will make it more likely that the respondents will understand the questionnaire, thereby giving more accurate results. If you're using more than one version of the questionnaire, use the translate, back translate procedure. And how is this done? This involves two translators who are both proficient in the original language of the questionnaire and the language in which it will be translated. So for example, the original language is English and the second language is Tagalog. So both translators should be proficient in both English and Tagalog. Translator 1 translates from the original to the second language, that means from English to Tagalog. Then, Translator 2 translates the Tagalog version back to English. But it's important that Translator 2 has not seen the original English version. Once Translator 2 is done, get those copies, compare the original English version with the back translated English version, and they should be very similar. It is not just language that is important, but also the words that are used. So use words that the respondents will understand. Keep it simple. For instance, don't use uncomplicated. Instead, use simple. Say clear instead of lucid. Avoid jargon. For instance, unless your respondents are health professionals, don't use the term hemorrhage. Instead, use the term bleeding. Avoid ambiguous questions. For instance, when asking for the frequency of visits to the well baby clinic, don't use the options rarely, sometimes, often, or always. These are subjective terms and may be interpreted in various ways by different people. A better way of putting it is ask, how many times have you brought your baby to the well baby clinic in the past 6 months? Avoid double-barreled questions, which is asking two or more things in one question. Example, don't ask how often has your baby developed cough and fever in the past 3 months. Cough and fever do not always go together, right? Sometimes there's cough but no fever, and sometimes there's fever but no cough. So instead, ask two questions. How often has your baby developed cough in the past 3 months? And the second question is, how often has your baby developed fever in the past 3 months? Avoid leading questions. These are items that give a clue to the right or desired answer. Example, experts agree that a balanced diet provides enough nutrients. Do you think vitamin supplements are still necessary? The statement, experts agree that a balanced diet provides enough nutrients, is a clue to what is the right or desired answer. So remove that and instead ask, do you think vitamin supplements are necessary? Sometimes the clue is derived from the context of other questionnaire items. If you look at this group of items, you will notice that all of these items portray right parental behavior in preventing poisoning among toddlers. So for instance, the respondent is not sure whether item number 6 is right or wrong parental behavior. I store substances in their original containers. But the respondent noted that all the other items are right parental behavior. So what would this respondent do? Simply guess. And this time, correctly, that item number 6 is also a right parental behavior. So the better thing to do is not to create a pattern that can be used by the respondent to guess. So let us revise some items. Number 1, I encourage my toddler to take a medicine by saying that it's candy. This is wrong parental behavior. Number 2, I take medicines in front of my toddler. This is also wrong parental behavior. And number 5, I put plants indoor where my toddler can touch them. This is also wrong parental behavior. So these 7 items consists now of a mix of right and wrong parental behavior, so there is no specific pattern on which the respondent can base his or her guessing. Include only relevant items. Don't ask respondent's name and demographic data that are not necessary. Instead, ask only those that are needed to answer your research questions. If a piece of information is not going to be used in your research, then what's the point of asking it? It will just make the questionnaire longer and it will take more time and effort for the respondent to answer the questionnaire. Provide exhaustive options. For a checklist, provide an others option. Example, the question is, what do you do when you are faced with a very hard task? Check all that apply, and the options are continue working, take a break, give up, seek help. Obviously, this is not exhaustive because there are other things that a person can do when confronted with a very hard task, such as praying, eating, throwing things, screaming, etc. So, to make it exhaustive, put an others, then specify option. Still on providing exhaustive options for items testing factual knowledge, provide a don't know option. Example, a woman regularly menstruates every 30 days. Counting the first day of her period as day 1, when is she most likely to release an egg from her ovary? The correct answer is day 16. But there are 3 wrong options, day 12, day 14, and day 18, and there is a don't know option. Why do we need to have a don't know option? What if the respondent did not know the right answer? What are the advantages of having this option? First, providing a don't know option will make it less likely for the respondent to skip the item. Second, it will prevent the respondent from being forced to guess the answer. Why is this important? For example, two respondents answered day 14. The first respondent thought that day 14 was the correct answer. The second respondent had no idea at all of what the correct answer was and simply guessed day 14. Same answer, but there is a difference. The first respondent is misinformed. The second respondent is not informed. These nuances in data may be important when you use the findings for an educational program because when the respondents are not informed, you simply have to inform them. It's that simple. But when the respondents are misinformed, there would have to be two steps. First, you have to erase the misinformation, then provide the correct information. Another thing to remember, keep the questionnaire short. Use shorter words and remove unnecessary ones. Don't ask, have you ever utilized the services of a doctor with regard to determining if you have high blood pressure? Yes or no. This is too wordy. So instead ask, have you ever had your blood pressure taken by a doctor? Yes or no. Related to keeping the questionnaire short is to use filtering if needed. This is done when not all of the items need to be answered by all of the respondents. So some of the respondents may skip certain items. Example, think of the last time your baby had a cough. Did you consult a doctor? Options, yes or no. So there is an additional instruction here. If yes, proceed to the next item. If no, skip items 2 to 14. Instead, proceed to item number 15. So this will save time and effort for those who answered no. Because instead of reading items 2 to 14 and answering them with not applicable, not applicable, not applicable, they can go immediately to item number 15, which is what is going to concern them. Fit your questionnaire to your data analysis. Example, if the objective for asking the ages of the respondents is to determine their mean age, then you would have to ask age at last birthday, blank years. But if the objective for asking the age of the respondents is to categorize them into groups during the data analysis, then you can ask age at last birthday and then please check less than 18, 18 to 29, 30 to 50, 51 and above. It means that the options already categorize the respondents into groups. If you are not decided yet on your categorization, then I suggest that you use raw data, so as age at last birthday. Present the questionnaire in a user-friendly format. There should be legible font. This is especially important for older respondents. Be sure that the font size is big enough for them to be able to read it easily. Then consistent formatting, adequate spacing, and logical layout. For example, there are indentions, or there's correct margin, etc. Use proper grammar and sentence construction. This improper grammar can be distracting, and improper sentence construction can make the question vague. It has to be easy to understand flow. Similar items are grouped together, and filtering is clear. Now, let's apply all this to an example. Of course, you will have to know the research questions. First, what is the nature of social media use among adolescents in terms of platforms use, duration of use, and manner of use? Second, what is the extent of real-life social skills of adolescents? Third, is there a relationship between the nature of social media use and the extent of real-life social skills of adolescents? And fourth, does gender influence the relationship between the nature of social media use and real-life social skills of adolescents? There are two constructs that we need to measure. First is nature of social media use, and the second is real-life social skills. And under nature of social media use, the content domains are already found in the problem statement. Platform use, duration of use, and manner of use. For real-life social skills, the content domains are not found in the problem, so you will have to come up with the content domains. Where do you get this? You can read literature, This can also be from your own knowledge or from knowledge of experts. So under real-life social skills, the content domains are communication, social perceptiveness, adaptability, and relationship management. Create a blueprint under nature of social media use, platform use, list down all of the different social media platforms. Number two, duration of use is the average number of hours per day. And three, manner of use, posts, reads posts, comments on posts, or chats. For real-life social skills, communication may be broken down into verbal and nonverbal communication and listening. Social perceptiveness will include the specific areas of awareness of others' reactions and understanding of others' reactions. Adaptability will include the ability to adjust to different situations and to different people within the social context. And relationship management will include balancing own needs and needs of others and resolving conflicts. Now, let's create items. Most questionnaires start with demographic data, but this is not always the best place for putting them. Sometimes it may be better to put them at the end when you're asking very personal questions. However, in our questionnaire, we're simply asking for gender. This is a personal question, but it's very easy to share. So, let's start with gender. Options are male or female. Part 2 of the questionnaire measures the first construct, which is social media use. Given below are social media platforms. Put an X mark beside the ones that you do not use. Then rank the remaining ones according to how much you use them. Write the number 1 beside the social media platform that you use most, then number 2 beside the second most used, and so on. So there are two activities here. First is to eliminate the ones that are not being used. This is an easy task. That's why I give this as the first activity. Then after eliminating, the respondents will now be left with fewer options, and then they are asked to rank these remaining options in terms of how much they use these platforms. This is a more difficult task. And then I further clarified how they would number because they could be giving an opposite numbering. So write number 1 for the most used, number 2 for the second most used, and so on. So this is more user-friendly and this is clearer to the respondents in terms of what they are expected to do. Item number 2 asks, what are your activities on social media? Put an X mark beside the ones that you do not do, and rank the remaining ones according to how much you do them. Write the number 1 beside the activity that you do most, and number 2 beside the second, and so on. The instructions are very similar to the instructions in item number 1. But these are now referring to activities in social media which are divided into reading or watching posts, posting, writing comments, and chatting. Item number 3 is about the duration of use. Estimate the number of hours per day that you use on social media activities. Options are from less than an hour to more than 12 hours. Part 3 of the questionnaire measures real-life social skills. There are different ways by which you could measure them. You could use different types of items. First item, the simplest, is dichotomous item. It presents the respondents with two options to choose from, such as yes or no, true or false, agree or disagree. Let's see an example. Part 3. Assess your social skills outside of social media. Take note, I have capitalized social skills outside of social media to emphasize to the respondents that social media skills are excluded in this questionnaire. And then there's a further instruction, put a check mark on the corresponding space. At the left side of the questionnaire, there is a list of statements about one's social skills. And at the right side of the questionnaire are the two options, agree or disagree. Remember that this is a dichotomous questionnaire, therefore, only two options are provided. Let's see what are these social skills. These are based on the blueprint. 1. Communicate well verbally. 2. I communicate well non-verbally. 3. I listen attentively to others. 4. I am aware of others' reactions. 5. I understand others' reactions. 6. I am able to adjust my behavior to different social settings. 7. I am able to adjust my behavior to different people. 8. I can balance my needs with the needs of others. And 9. I can easily resolve conflicts with others. Although a dichotomous questionnaire is easy to make, simple to implement, and easy to answer, The disadvantage is that it does not provide an idea about the gradations in one's responses. So let's look at the type of item that will do this. This is Likert scale. Here the respondents specify their degree of agreement or disagreement to a series of statements using a symmetrical agree-disagree scale. So let's see an example of a Likert scale. Same statements at the left side of the questionnaire, but on the right side, instead of simply agree or disagree options, there are 5 options. Strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. The advantage of this is that it allows the respondent to express the degree of agreement or disagreement that he or she has towards the statement. Another type of questionnaire items is semantic differential. This measures a person's perception and emotional reactions using bipolar adjectives, such as happy, sad, excellent, very poor, many, few, and so on. For example, item number 1, excellent verbal communication at one end, and very poor verbal communication at the opposite end. Then, the respondents simply check their rating of their own verbal communication. So the same thing is true for item number 2, number 3, and all the other items. The original semantic differential consists of 7 options, but there's another version which consists of just 5 options. If you're using a digital format, then I suggest that you use the 5 option semantic differential. Reason, this is friendlier for use in mobile devices which have smaller screens. So that's it. That's how to make a questionnaire. And after completing your questionnaire, what do you do next? The next thing that you're going to do is to click the subscribe button. Okay, seriously now, after you've done your questionnaire, test your questionnaire for validity and reliability. But this video is not going to cover this validity and reliability testing. This will be found in another video which I will be releasing soon. So see you in the next video.